Good morning, and welcome to the 36th Annual ABI Graduation and Awards Ceremony. I am Celeste Ryan, Instructor Coordinator, Special Programs and Services. The staff and faculty of Special Programs are so honored to have you with us today. I ordered up no rain. I didn't say anything about the wind, sorry. I hope everybody had an opportunity to enjoy a cup of coffee, tea, water, a homemade cookie or two. We're not counting. Hopefully you found a basket that you decided you couldn't leave without, and most important, connected with, shared with classmates, family members, old and new friends, and colleagues. At this time, I'd like to introduce you to Coastline College President, Dr. Loretta Adrian, who will acknowledge our distinguished guests and dignitaries who have come to celebrate with us this morning.
Thank you, Celeste, and good morning to everyone. I see a lot of familiar faces, and thank you again for coming, wind and all. And I know that, like you, our Chancellor, President of our Board, Dr. Prinsky, our Trustee Mary Hornbuckle, our Vice Chancellor, Andrea Serban, come here every year, and I think it is because it is one of the most uplifting events. I was thinking on my way here that this event really reminds us, anyway, it reminds me that the words challenge and change are really very relative. And this event shows us that we have tremendous human capacity to overcome many obstacles, and not only to cope, but to thrive. So thank you for being here. So I would like to introduce some of our special guests, but you're all special, but our distinguished guests from our district leadership. We have our Chancellor, Dr. John Weiss-Fenning, our Board President, Dr. Lorraine Prinsky, Board of Trustee member, Trustee Hornbuckle, Mary Hornbuckle, Vice Chancellor, Dr. Andrea Serban, the Director of the Chancellor's Office, Operation and Governmental Relations, Dr. Miles Nevin. I think he's got one of the prime seats back there. And of course, our Vice President of Instruction, Dr. Vince Rodriguez, and the Dean of the Newport Beach campus, Dr. Tom Neal. So thank you for taking the time to honor our ABI graduates as well as the ABI program. Like many of you in the audience, I always look forward to this graduation event. The faculty, staff, and students are extremely dedicated to increasing awareness about traumatic brain injury and are passionate about implementing a number of ABI initiatives and activities. Last March, they identified an ABI Awareness Day, and students with their faculty and staff came out to all of our 4 campuses, including our Student Services Center, to share their stories, which were deeply moving and also and inspiring, and they also shared a number of really valuable information about traumatic brain injury. I was particularly impressed with the way in which they told us their stories, and also the way in which they explained some of the incidents that occur that causes traumatic brain injury. To our ABI students, I'm proud and grateful that you have chosen Coastline's ABI program to continue your rehabilitation. Please continue your outreach activities. They are as critically important to our college and our community. Each year, I look forward to mingle with each of you, particularly eating some of the home-baked cookies. And thank God Celeste is not counting, as well as the friendly bidding competition. To the ABI program graduates, I commend you for your dedication in overcoming very difficult challenges and gaining new skills in order to continue to live your lives in the fullest way possible and to continue to achieve your goals. You amaze me, and I am confident that everyone in the audience feel the same way. You are truly extraordinary individuals. We commend you for your courage and the hope that you exemplify every day. Today, we are honoring 17 graduates. 8 are transitioning to employment, 3 are going to be volunteering, 3 are attending schools, and 3 are retiring. These graduates are the best examples of grit, tenacity, courage, and hope. Please join me in congratulating our graduates and wishing them the best in their future endeavors. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Adrienne. Hopefully everybody has a program. If you don't, maybe you can raise your hand and we'll make sure that somebody gets to you with a program. Here they come. They're coming up right behind you. Hi, Gail. This morning's event would not be possible without the hard work of many dedicated individuals and groups. On behalf of Special Programs, I would like to thank Roy Heffelman from our IT department for setting up our sound. Today he has an extra challenging job. Maintenance and Operations Department for setup and takedown. Thank you, guys. You're all back there. To security, thank you, Armando, for your here to serve attitude and your willingness to assist. Special programs and staff and faculty, as I say your name, would you please stand so that we can acknowledge your hard work. Lisa Winger, she's probably over here. Lisa Shore. Erica Valle. Lori Genova. Elizabeth Jugel. Each day, these ladies go above and beyond for our students, staff, faculty, and college. Ladies, you are the first welcoming face of the Newport Beach campus and our department. Each of you are first in commitment, dedication, enthusiasm, and talent. I thank you. Our ABI faculty, Michelle Wild, Kim Peterson, Erin Crowley, Becky Friend, Jennifer Leith, consulting psychologist Dr. Jim Pacino, our graduate interns from this last year, Rita, Amaris, Sarah and Shivanti. Our classroom aides and volunteers, Bradley, Daniel, Ashley, Kareem, Jason, and Doris. Unfortunately, our graduate speech interns are unable to make it here today. They're both out at interviews, so hopefully good wishes to them. But we'd like to thank Alyssa and Jacobel for helping us this past year. A special shout out goes to Rochelle Lopez. Is she up here? Our Special Programs and Services Academic Counselor. Thank you for the support that you have offered the ABI program. To Dr. Tom Neal, Dean of Math, Science, Art, and Special Programs, thank you for your leadership, support, and guidance. It is definitely a pleasure to work with you. Students, for the last year, these individuals have been your change makers, assisting you in learning new technologies that assist you in the development of awareness of your challenges, establish and practice of new strategies, skills, and abilities, and finding the strength to move on. Lastly, but certainly not least, I want to thank the ABI students, alumni, their families, and friends. Today we honor our graduates and celebrate all our students' accomplishments. The The theme for this year's graduation celebration is #ChangeYourMind. Students have been working with this theme since the first day of the spring term. As some of you may know, and as Dr. Adrian reminded you earlier, March is Brain Injury Awareness Month. This past January, the Brain Injury Association of America introduced #ChangeYourMind campaign and designated March 13th, 2019 as Brain Injury Awareness Day. The #ChangeYourMind campaign provided a platform for educating the general public about the incidence of brain injury and the needs of people with traumatic brain injuries and their families. The campaign also led itself to outreach within the brain injury community to destigmatize injury, empower those who have survived, and promote the many types of supports that are available. In January, that campaign was presented to our students, alumni, staff, and faculty. Did they want to participate? If so, how? The consensus was they were all in. Students immediately started researching and gathering educational materials, discussed and decided how to educate our college and community, signed up to represent the ABI program at Coastlines Administration and Learning Sites, and volunteered to serve on one of 2 student panels. They developed and practiced their presentation skills, created talking points, or what I like to refer to as thinking points, and everyone was focused. Special programs and services staff assisted in proofing and assembling presentation materials, sent out numerous college-wide and community announcements of the day's events, ordered green awareness bracelets and other assorted giveaways, and assembled box for our presentation materials for our information booths. In total, on that day, students staffed 4 pop-up information kiosks, conducted 2 student panels, shared their brain injury stories with others, and answered countless questions about what it's like to have a brain injury. On March 13th, students increased awareness and provided education on issues related to brain injury to more than 200 students, staff, faculty, college administrators, healthcare professionals, and members of the community. Thank you for your hard work. Did I say that we were all in? Yes, all of us. Staff, faculty, volunteers, and students. This is typical of the momentum and energy that goes into any of special programs and services projects. Students, volunteers, interns, faculty, and staff, everyone's in. I feel so fortunate to work with people who care so deeply about the work they are doing and for the services they are providing, and for those special students that we all serve. In April, when I was looking for a theme for the graduation celebration, Change Your Mind, #ChangeYourMind, was a natural choice. The theme inspired some wonderful essays. Many thanks go out to our current students who submitted an essay. I thoroughly enjoyed reading your submissions. Today, you will hear from 3 students. If you are interested in reading all this year's submissions, they will be available in a notebook located in the Special Services lobby. Students, your essays provided education, insight into the program, illustrate your struggle, and describe the strength, persistence, and required to change your mind. In this year's students' essays, students repeatedly mentioned the importance of the connections made with their classmates. At a time when, due to their brain injury, they may feel isolated, they find themselves in a program with others who are experiencing what they are experiencing, or who have experienced what they've experienced. They can communicate openly about their struggles without the risk of judgment, all the while focused on the future, the possibilities, and the opportunities ahead. Students describe their peers as their second family, their brain injury family, their lifelong friends. Connection is about commitment to one another, freedom to speak or not speak, and knowing that they are understood. Along with teaching individuals to compensate for their deficits, this is a true strength of the program. This morning, I would like you to sit back and listen as our student speakers guide you through their story of change. Now, I have the privilege of introducing Yoko Higuchi.
Good morning. My name is Becky Friend, and I'm here to assist Yoko with her speech. She has been on my team for most of the 2 years here at ABI. Yoko has aphasia. It's a language disorder that makes reading, writing, and speaking difficult for Yoko. Ready?
My name is Yoko Higuchi. I was born on August 7, 1968 in New York. My father was a banker. When I was a child, I had lived in several places, including Sydney, Australia, Tokyo, and San Francisco. Before I suffered my stroke, I was a lawyer serving in the Orange County and South Bay area. I helped many clients to obtain visas, permanent visas, and start businesses. I graduate from UC Davis, majoring in international relations, and got the JD in George Washington University Law School in 1995. I currently live with my father and mother and in Mission Viejo, as I am unable to live alone. Oh, no, yeah.
It's my turn.
Good.
On April 10th, 2015, doctors told me that I have Moya disease. The disease came suddenly without any symptoms. The only symptom was difficulty counting numbers. The disease is progressive and difficult to be cured except through bypass surgery on the brain. No surgeon was able to perform this kind of operation in Orange County. The doctor referred me to meet Dr. Steinberg at Stanford Hospital. He is a world-famous surgeon for Moya disease. On May 13th, 2015, I had the bypass surgery for 8 hours. The surgery went well, but on the same night, I had a stroke. I do not remember at all what happened after the surgery. My memory of it is gone.
Okay. When I started my in ABI program, I could not read English at all. I tried hard, but I could not read set words. I didn't even know my alphabet. Richard, one of the classmates, encouraged me to read articles in English and English used by iPads with the text to speech app. It reads sentences aloud, and I can understand. I love to read, and now my world has opened to reading, thanks to Richard and the ABI program. My experience at the ABI program has changed my daily life. Now I can organize myself better, and because I have learned how to use calendars, journals, and SMART goals. The ABI program has helped me because I can have now read yes, sentences, and my plans for the future has changed. I am confident that I can be into the transition into the community in some ways.
I would like to take ESL classes and be able to read and write much better in both Japanese and English. In the future, I would like to take English classes at Saddleback College. I would like to access transportation and even someday be able to drive a car. The program has made me hopeful I can volunteer in the community. A brain injury is difficult. After my stroke and my brain injury, many things in my life changed. These are the things that changed. I have a loss of ability of speech. I have difficulty writing sentences. I cannot express myself as much as I would like to. The right side of my body is affected, and I have limited use of my right hand. I have vision problems. I have loss of short memory. It took time to admit my brain injury problems, but now I am able to talk about my problems. I tried hard to find alternative ways to lead a daily life. Gradually, I gained confidence. I want to be with all people. I would like people to be patient with me and not ignore me. I can listen, and I do understand all conversations.
My mind has changed because I was able to gain confidence through this program and other challenges in my daily life. Thank you for the support, help and support of my teachers and friends here at Coastline College. You have given me a better quality of life. I am happy that you have accepted me and given me the opportunity to move on in my life and the future. Thank you.
Yoko, that was great. I think what I will do is, with Yoko's permission, I'm kind of putting her on the spot. Would it be okay, Yoko, if we published your speech so everybody could appreciate it? The wind was a little bit of a challenge. Are you okay with that? With sharing your speech? Okay. All right. Her story is beautiful. Our next speaker is Hugo Lopez.
Hi, my name is Hugo Lopez. While attending college at OCC, I was working as a CNC machine operator for an aerospace company called Aerofit. On December 14, 2016, my sister had invited me over for dinner after work. Since I hadn't eaten yet, I gladly went over. Later on, coming home from her house, I got involved in a motorcycle accident and was hospitalized for about 4 months. Towards the end of the 4th month, I was released from UCI Hospital along with 3 months of occupational, cognitive, and physical therapy. When my motorcycle accident first happened, I was rushed over to the hospital and got treated for 11 broken ribs, 2 punctured lungs, a broken left shoulder, and a brain injury which put me in coma for about 2 months. When my family heard from my brother-in-law that I was in a motorcycle accident and was being rushed over to the hospital, they all too rushed over to the hospital to see how I was. When they got there, doctors had taken them to a private room to inform them about my status situation. Sorry. They explained to them that because of my incident, I had a brain injury which put me in coma, and they should prepare in case I didn't wake up. It was hard for them to hear I might not wake up. They walked over to see me in bed with medical tubes going inside me, keeping me alive. Later on, my parents decided to take turns watching over me. My dad had taken the night shifts and mom during the day. I was told that it was at night when I woke up from coma. In the morning, my dad had informed my family of the good news. I had woken up from coma. Everyone was excited and happy, a cause for celebration. After I woke up, it was difficult for me to think or process cognitively. The words coming out of my mouth didn't make sense, just rumbling, which my family couldn't understand or figure out. In a week, I had regained better consciousness of who I was, yet my memory still finds it difficult remembering details. Then a month went by and they released me from the hospital with 3 months of cognitive, occupational, and physical therapy. 3 months ended, but I still felt I needed more time recovering. My sister had asked my therapist if there was anything else they could do to help me get better. He said that there was nothing else they could do through their part, but he did mention a program called Acquired Brain Injury at Coastline Community College. He said that this program was for people who have had a brain injury. They help you understand your deficits and show you strategy techniques to use in your everyday life to help you accommodate for your deficits. I was pretty hesitant at first since it involved going back to college. I thought that over time I would recover perfectly on my own. Little did I know, I was wrong. So I went ahead and registered for the ABI program my therapist had mentioned. First, I had to go through a qualification process to see if I qualified for the program. Once I was accepted, based on my test results, they had to sign me over to Jennifer's team over the summer. Not knowing the program, I was nervous and anxious, thinking I would be the only different one. At first, the cognitive instructor presented herself and explained a little bit about the program. She explained how the program was broken down into 4 classes, which were computers, 2 cognitive classes, and a psychosocial class. After she was done with her introductory, she gave us a chance to introduce ourselves and explain to the class the type of injury we had acquired. The introduction had set a comfortable atmosphere, giving us a chance to express ourselves to the class and letting them know how we had acquired our brain injury. It made it comfortable knowing you aren't the only person going through these type of situations. Over time, I gained a lot of resourceful strategy techniques that helped me get through my everyday life. For example, I wasn't aware that to-do task, calendar, and Best Suite app could help us accommodate for our deficits to make it easier in functioning. Strategies that help us get through our daily lives. Another great strategy we also learned was to break down goals into steps and turn them into SMART goals. It challenged us cognitively, trying to think of goals that were relevant to our transition and our everyday life. I believe adapting to these strategies will be a great addition in helping us overcome our deficits until our struggles take us to advance to a different team. I'm currently in Aaron's team, and thankfully practicing these techniques is allowing me to get through my transition courses at OCC along with my everyday life activities. My plans for the future is to attain my machinery technology certification from OCC. Hopefully I can regain my position as a CNC setup operator for an aerospace company. Once that is acquired, I would like to save up for a vehicle, most likely a Camaro. I'm also going to travel my home country, go to Puerto Escondido, and visit the rest of my family. Having a brain injury can impact a person's life drastically. After acquiring my brain injury, it's made me more dependent to technology. Some of the deficits I now struggle with is short-term memory loss. For that, I've learned to use my phone to help me take notes of doctor appointments, daily tasks, and other important events. I know anyone can overcome these deficits. Just stay positive. Great things come from those who don't stop believing, trying, learning, and being grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Hugo. That was wonderful. Our third speaker is Laura Gomez.
Hi. I suffered a concussion due to a car accident on December 2nd, 2016. The car I was in was rear-ended. I was the passenger and my head hit the dashboard. When I first thought about this topic, my plan was to talk about my injury in detail, what happened to me, how I was affected, and what I can and can't do anymore. What I found myself typing was this. My injury was a turning point in my life, and I get to choose which way I turn. One of the most difficult parts about my injury is I've lost the confidence I had in myself, in my decision making, and in my own strength. Before my injury, this was easier by myself. Before my injury, I saw myself working at the same job for many years to come, most likely through to retirement. Now that I don't have that job, I'm offered a new opportunity to look for something else, hopefully something that fulfills my life and gives me a chance to give back to people. I'm trying to look at my injury as a second chance, despite the daily challenges I face. I still possess all the same skills and knowledge, but accessing that information is so much harder now. My processing skills and confidence have dropped so much and are huge barriers for me. On the outside, I look exactly the same, but so much has changed on the inside. My accident rattled my brain. And even though I've overcome most of my physical symptoms, at least the most visible ones, I'm left with confusion, isolation, anxiety, and generally not feeling like myself. Everything that was automatic now takes effort, which is an overwhelming feeling in itself. I'm trying to get back to things I used to do, which makes people think I'm okay. But I have good days and I have bad days. In addition, I don't experience all my symptoms all at one time, nor all the time. So it's like my mind and body are playing tricks on me. I never really thought about brain injuries, at least not in the same respect as people typically think about other lingering ailments or illnesses. I'm learning most people really don't think about brain injuries unless it's affected them in some way or happened to someone close to them. In the latter case, it's more of just trying to relate versus trying to understand a particular situation. For example, that happened to my friend or aunt, and so on. Some of the biggest life lessons my injury has taught me are patience and non-judgment. There's a reason why brain injury is referred to as the invisible disability. You can't see it, but what people miss is you can't understand what you can't see. I try to remind myself of that daily, not just with people here at the program, but everywhere in my life. Being here helps me remind myself to be more mindful and compassionate. I learned about the ABI program from my occupational therapist and neurologist. 1 year post-injury, I just couldn't understand why my recovery was taking so long. And even though I had made some good improvements, I still felt so unlike my old self. I kept telling my OT and neurologist, what more can I do? There has to be something I can be doing to help my own recovery. March 2018, each of them gave me the information about this program, surprisingly within the same week of seeing them, even though they did not communicate often. I was so excited to receive new information, I eagerly looked up the site and watched the testimonials. That was it for me. I had to come here. I started the process, application, forms, requesting medical records. It took some time to finally get everything, but I got them turned in. I remember being so nervous to hear back and even more nervous about my intake interview. Like I said, I had to get in. I remember Kim asking me, what do you want out of the program? To which I responded, I want to be back to normal. Adding, I know it's a long shot, but you asked. Even though I still want that, I think I am slowly realizing it's not a realistic goal, and I'm learning each day in class how I can compensate for the skills I may not be as well at anymore. Being in this program and coming here gives me purpose again. I have something to be accountable to and responsible for. I have work to do and I have work to go to and to do along with deadlines. More than that, being around people who get it is so comforting. I don't think I ever thought about this aspect before I got here. I don't have to explain why I can't think fast enough or why I'm too tired to talk or explain anything. Even better, I don't feel different. I love coming here. I know I don't know everything yet, meaning I don't get in practice what I'm being taught every day, but I know I will, and I know that just being here pushes me to accept that I need to use these strategies versus knowing I can get it all back like before. Being here doesn't make me feel weak or incapable for needing to use tools for things that used to come naturally to me. I'm still new to the program, this being my 3rd session, and even though I'm looking forward to graduating in terms of being ready to start my new life, I'm more looking forward to spending the next 2 years with these people who have become my support system and, in a sense, my extended brain family. I'm still not sure where this journey will take me, but my accident definitely changed my life, and now it's up to me to decide which way I want my life to go, an opportunity not many people are given. Most days I feel lost and stuck, but I get through each day trying to remind myself this is temporary, and I'm the only one who can get me out of this rut by finding new meaning. I'm nervous, scared, and excited about this journey I'm taking, but I'm trying to stay positive, and I'm more excited for where this will take me. I listen to other students and how their injury has made them a better person, and I'm really looking forward to the day where I can realize that for myself. Thanks.
Thank you, Laura. I also want everybody to know that our first speaker, Yasher, was unable to present his speech this morning because of an illness. So we're just wishing him the best and hope that he can share his speech later on with his classmates. I'm also hopeful that when you were bidding on the baskets that you were able to take in Uma's presentation of her essay. Not all students have the words, as I think she would say, to put together a full essay. So she put a pictorial of her before, during, and after that's quite inspiring. So, and it's over here on some poster boards for you to enjoy. We are so proud of our students and the hard work and dedication they demonstrate every day. All of our students are an inspiration, today and always. The ABI instructors want to recognize some very special student achievements. Becky? Ah, here she comes.
Our student of the year, Jen and I share a team. We split them, but this decision was a unanimous choice. Our student of the year challenges me daily. My first encounter with this student were weekly in computer class, where they would tell me all that they could not do, and sometimes in a very loud voice. I was a little apprehensive about having this student on my team full time. This student volunteered for the Brain Injury Awareness Day and attends monthly brown bags. My positive attitude is opposite to her somewhat Eeyore attitude. My student of the year has aphasia, so talking, reading, and writing is hard for her, and she constantly reminds me of this fact. Even though speaking is hard for her, she gets her point across. She loves taking pictures. She loves politics. She is passionate about the things she loves, including her aphasia book club, and her husband, Uma, and hopefully I don't screw up your last name, you say it.
Nithapalan.
Please come up here. Uma is a hard worker, challenges me daily, lights up when she talks about her passions, and loves homework. So with that, and she just told us that she's not coming back, so I'm upset. I'm like, who's going to argue with me? But I give you our Student of the Year for Team Jen and Becky.
This is one bad hair day. But I'm up here to do something really fun. I think this is probably, actually, maybe the best time of the whole year, is to acknowledge a student who is extraordinary. So that student doesn't have far to walk because he's standing right next to me. Hugo? Let me talk nice things about you. You guys already know a lot about him because of his speech, but I'll repeat a tiny bit of that. In December of 2016, Hugo was involved in a motorcycle accident at the age of 29. As you know, he was in a coma for nearly 60 days and spent nearly a year in various outpatient therapies. He has 4 siblings, 3 younger sisters, and 1 younger brother. Again, as you know, before his injury, Hugo was working towards a certificate in machine technology at OCC. He was employed as a CNC, which I now know is a computer numeric controlled machinist for Zodiac Aerospace and Aerofit. Hugo has been at Coastline's ABI program for about a year, and he's been in my class for 3 of those 5 quarters. He has many strengths. He is standing up here next to me so that we can all stop for a moment and recognize how extraordinary his strengths really are. Allow me to attempt to describe him in words. He is humble, he is sweet-natured, he's intelligent, and as you can see, a very talented writer. If you ask him to walk a mile, he'll walk 4. Here's one of the best things I like about him the most. He is a giggler. I often mention his propensity to giggle in class, but there's not an instructor, an aide, or a classmate that wouldn't agree. It's really charming and very endearing. I could go on with Hugo's long list of strengths, but I wanted to focus on the one that puts him up here today. Hugo's work ethic is remarkable. Every assignment given reflects tremendous effort. He always follows through with all that is asked of him, and as I said, you ask him a mile and he gives you 4. This spring semester, Hugo took 13 units, yes, that is correct, 13 units of machine technology related classes at OCC. That is in addition to coming to the ABI program 4 days a week for 4 hours a day. I have witnessed this man standing next to me work incredibly hard to return to work and to a life of independence and responsibility. Most of us in this audience today could not imagine the focus, the stamina, and the strength of character that it must take to walk in the shoes of any of these individuals who are here today with a brain injury. You deserve recognition for your efforts and abilities, Hugo, That's what this moment is all about.
So I have my iPad with me, just so everyone knows. I can actually read it. People saw me carrying my iPad this morning and wanted to know, what are you doing with that? Today's not a day like that. Well, my speech is actually on my iPad, which is very good because I don't have to worry about the paper flying away and getting in my way. I can also edit on the fly. And I can also airdrop this to whoever the outstanding student is. So all those things make this the perfect solution. Trying to find the right words. Oh, one other thing. So my day started with Janice sharing her speech, which got me going. And then from there on, it's just been nonstop. So I apologize in advance for this. Trying to find the right words to share about the outstanding student is always difficult for me. I know my students are used to me oversharing, but this is very different. I struggle doing justice to their journey and acknowledging their many accomplishments. Having said that, I hope the Team Michelle Outstanding Student this year, Steve Williams, won't give me too hard of a time, and yet I know better. Apparently I didn't put your full thought on it. Steve started the ABI program in spring 2017. His journey to the ABI program is a bit different than most. It started many years ago with a heart condition that led to many challenges, including an artificial heart for a period of time, a heart transplant, and then a stroke. He wasn't sure the ABI program was the right place for him when he started. He had already been through a prolonged medical issue, a lifelong journey really, that had been resolved to a certain extent. Now he was dealing with something completely different. His brain injury is another lifetime journey, but one that doesn't have a solution, for lack of a better word. He was filled with questions and struggled to make sense of and explain his new challenges. Did I say he was full of questions? No, really, I love a good challenge. Steve and I met in the morning and after school quite often, talking about his cognitive challenges, to talk about how what we were doing in class related to him, and to talk about strategies. He wasn't always ready to hear what I had to say, but he always listened. He always thought about our conversations and came back the next time with counter ideas, examples, insights, and yes, more questions. Steve is a fun-loving and very caring guy. He enjoys joking around and has made some amazing friends in the program. He loves photography and goes out with Sean, another ABI graduate today, does lunch with small groups of students, everything posted on Facebook, so we all get to follow it, and can be counted on to help out whenever asked. He volunteers at Cedars-Sinai by talking with and giving hope to heart patients that are at an earlier stage in their journey. He wants to begin volunteering to help brain injury survivors in the same way. He is a different guy as he graduates today. Don't get me wrong, he still asks questions. And he's learning to accept the new him. He's found a community that understands and loves the new him. He's finding his own voice as a brain injury survivor, and I can't wait to see what he does with it.
Thank you, Michelle. Congratulations, students. Now to our graduates. The graduates of 2018-19 have demonstrated outstanding dedication and perseverance in addressing their cognitive, interpersonal, and establishing their community transition. We are fortunate to have most of our graduates with us today. Those who were unable to join us are either working, volunteering, or attending classes. Today, we honor and congratulate 17 graduates. Dr. Adrian, Dr. Prinsky, and Mary Hornbuckle, will you join us to present the awards? Graduates, as I call your name, please come up to the platform so that you may receive your certificate. After you received your certificates, please gather at the top of the stairs, those stairs, so that we can get a group photo. As I introduce each graduate, I will read a quote that means something special to them. These quotes have served as a reflection of how their mind has changed through their participation in the ABI program. Help me in congratulating the ABI 2018-19 graduates. Our first graduate is Sean Kerfman. Sean Kerfman's quote is, what do you do when life throws you a major league curveball? Swing away and push forward. Franklin DeGrave. Franklin's quote is, never say never, never give up. Our next graduate is Yoko Higuchi. Yoko's quote is, if you've tried 10,000 times and failed and are exhausted, try one more time. In the 10,001th try, something might change. Robin Hilzebeck. Robin Hilzebeck's quote is, you gotta feel it to heal it. Our next graduate is Chandler Kirby. Chandler's quote, what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Our next graduate is Michelle Mack. Michelle's quote, you know my name, not my story. You've heard what I've done, not where I've been, what I've been through. If you were in my shoes, you'd fall at the first step. Our next graduate is Larry Mann. Larry Mann's quote, I'm not defined by my brain injury, but rather how I adjust and move forward from my brain injury. Our next quote is from Chadwick McDonald. His quote is, believe you can, and you're halfway there. Theodore Roosevelt. Our next graduate is Dan Oyakawa. Dan's quote, I'm living my best life. Our next graduate is Ernest Pata. Ernest's quote is, what we achieve inwardly will change our outer reality. I also was told it's Ernest's birthday today. Happy birthday, Ernest. Our next graduate is Kenneth Pack. Kenneth's quote is, destiny is not a matter of chance, it is a matter of choice. It is not a thing to be waited for, it is a thing to be achieved. William Jennings Bryan. Our next graduate is Allison Patrick. Allison's quote is, sometimes you change your mind, sometimes your mind changes you. Rabbi B. Schumann. Our next graduate is Gustavo Valencia. His quote is, "Only I can change my future. Nobody can do it for me."
Congratulations, Gustavo! Congratulations!
And our last graduate that we're honoring today is Steve Williams. If it is to be, it is up to me. Graduates, the ABI faculty and staff would like to thank you for your dedication and hard work. Your involvement in our program has made it a better program, and we appreciate your contributions. You are proof that this program works and makes a difference. Graduates, may you continue your pursuit of changing minds. Thank you for joining us this morning. From the special program staff, faculty, and students, we appreciate your support. It has been my pleasure to have you on our campus today, and I hope to see you next year. Thank you so much.